Okay, so get this. We're diving into classic car restoration today, but get this, there's a digital twist.
Hmm.
We're talking about how technology is changing the way these beautiful cars are brought back to life.
Yeah. And you know what's really interesting about all this is that it's not about replacing the human element of craftsmanship, which is obviously so important in this world.
Of course, of course.
It's more about giving these craftspeople a digital toolkit to work with.
Right.
And that actually can make these restorations even more precise and even more transparent, which is really cool.
So let's picture this. You found your dream classic car, right?
Okay.
It needs a little bit of love, maybe more than a little.
Sure.
You want to make sure that any restoration that's done is absolutely top-notch and
Sure.
that it keeps the car's history intact.
Yeah,
So that's where I imagine something like FIVA's Charter of Turin comes in.
exactly. Yeah, you're spot on. For people who maybe are
The
unfamiliar,
Charter of Turin.
yeah, it's essentially a set of guidelines
Mm-hmm.
for how restoration should be done, really prioritizing originality, historical accuracy,
Yeah.
authenticity, all of that. It's like the gold standard for
Exactly.
doing this the right way.
Absolutely.
So how do digital tools then sort of play into that, into meeting those standards?
So what we're seeing is that digital tools are being used to almost create a digital roadmap of the entire restoration process.
A digital roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
So from the initial assessment of the car's condition all the way through to the final touches,
Wow.
everything can be meticulously documented, tracked, and it creates this really fascinating digital record of the entire journey of the restoration.
So walk me through how something like that actually works in a restoration shop.
So imagine, these shops can be pretty hectic places.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there's this thing called business process modeling notation, BPMN.
Okay.
It sounds very complicated. It's
All right.
really not.
It's basically a way to visually map out every single step in that restoration process.
Wow. Okay.
And the cool thing is, it's not just for the shop.
Oh.
Imagine you're a car owner. You could actually log into a system, see the progress on your car in real time.
Oh, wow.
Almost like a live feed of the restoration journey.
Instead of calling the shop every week. To
Exactly.
be like, hey, how's it going? What's the status?
Exactly. No more phone tag.
Wow, that's amazing.
You can see it all right there.
That's next level transparency.
It is.
They-
I bet owners love that.
Oh, it's a huge selling point for these shops that are embracing this technology because it gives that peace of mind.
Wow.
And it's not just photos and updates. This digital roadmap can be connected to customer relationship management systems, CRM systems,
Okay.
which gives shop managers incredible control over everything.
Wow.
Real-time progress tracking, parts management,
Wow.
even direct messaging or video updates for car owners,
That's amazing.
all in one place.
So it's like bringing the efficiency.
And that transparency of the digital age to this craft, that's really all about, preserving the past.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful blend of the old and the new.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not just talking about digital files, though, and prettier interfaces.
No.
The research also mentions something about sensors being used in the restoration process, which is wild.
Right. It might seem a little bit counterintuitive at first
Yeah,
to think about sensors on a classic car.
yeah.
But it's an area where researchers are getting really excited
Okay.
because it opens up a lot of possibilities.
So how does that work?
So imagine a sensor that can track, let's say, the exact moment a car enters the paint booth,
Okay.
or when welding is being done on a specific part of the car.
Wow.
It's like having an impartial observer meticulously documenting the entire restoration as it's happening.
Yeah, in real time.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It is. And that data,
Yeah.
that real-time data, isn't just for documentation. It can actually be used to help shops improve their efficiency, identify areas where maybe they can streamline processes, maybe reduce waste.
Wow.
It's really fascinating how this data can be used.
So it's not just like a cool add-on, it's completely changing how this work is being done.
Revolutionary, really.
But it can't all be smooth sailing, right? I mean, there must be challenges in trying to merge digital tools with such a traditional craft.
Absolutely. There are always challenges when you're integrating new technologies, especially in a field that's so rooted in tradition and hands-on expertise.
Right.
One of the big ones is making sure that the data from those sensors is actually accurate.
Right.
A workshop is a busy place.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of noise, literally noise, right? And you want to make sure that a stray hammer blow or something isn't throwing off your entire digital record of the restoration.
Right. Yeah. Garbage in, garbage out. Right. Like you need to make sure the data's good.
Exactly. And that's where you get into some really interesting signal processing techniques
Oh, okay.
that researchers are developing to kind of filter out that noise and
Wow.
make sure that what you're left with is really precise and reliable data.
It's like, how do they even, I mean, that just sounds incredibly complicated.
It is complicated,
Yeah.
but the results are pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also thinking, beyond these technical hurdles that we're talking about,
Sure.
how are these digital tools being received by the restorers themselves? Like, I
Yeah.
imagine if you've been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years,
Right.
this is a big change.
It is a big change. And, you're right. A lot
Yeah.
of these master restorers, they have decades of experience.
Yeah.
Their knowledge is so valuable.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is really exciting about this research is the potential for these digital tools to help capture that expertise
Oh, interesting.
and make it more widely accessible, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So it's almost like creating this kind of digital apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's like instead of it all living in someone's head who's been doing it for 40 years,
Right, exactly.
you can actually record that and keep that knowledge.
Preserve it, exactly.
Yeah, and share
And
it.
share, yeah, train
Yeah.
the next generation.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it's not just about the future generations, right? This digital documentation, it also has huge implications for the business side of things.
Okay.
Like, have you ever heard of Enterprise Resource Planning Systems, ERP?
ERP, yeah, I mean, I know it's used in a lot of different industries.
Right. It's everywhere.
Yeah, but how does that apply to a car restoration shop?
So think of an ERP system as like the central nervous system of the entire operation.
Okay.
It connects everything, so inventory management, accounting, customer relations, all of that.
Wow.
Instead of having these separate systems for ordering parts, for tracking labor costs, for sending invoices, it's all managed through this one integrated platform.
So it's bringing all those moving parts together.
Exactly.
Much like the digital roadmap does for the restoration itself.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting, right? Because when you start to connect that ERP system
Okay.
to the BPMN, that digital roadmap we were talking about earlier,
Right.
and you start feeding in the real-time data from those sensors, you create this incredibly powerful closed-loop system.
A closed loop system.
Yeah,
right.
so imagine this. A mechanic needs a specific part
Okay.
to finish a task.
Right.
They can flag that need in the system
Okay.
that automatically generates a purchase order through the ERT,
Wow.
tracks the shipment, even updates the restoration roadmap with the expected delivery date, so everyone's in the loop.
Wow. No more digging through catalogs trying to find the part number.
Exactly. No more waiting by the phone.
Right.
It just streamlines everything.
That's incredible. So efficient.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency.
With all this talk about efficiency and digital systems and all this stuff, I have to ask, does the human touch get lost in all of this?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I think this technology actually has the potential to help preserve and even elevate that artistry.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's not about replacing human skill.
Right.
It's about giving those craftspeople better information, more precise tools,
Right.
and a way to share their knowledge and their passion with the world.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
Because I think there is a concern that, we're going to lose something in this process.
Right.
But it sounds like it's almost the opposite.
It's almost like this could lead to a renaissance in classic car restoration,
Oh, wow.
where we have that blend of, the timeless skill
Right.
and the precision and the transparency of these digital tools.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Exactly.
That's exciting.
It is exciting, and it doesn't stop there. Because the research even touches on the potential of AI playing a role in all of this.
Artificial intelligence in classic car restoration, what does that even,
I don't know, right?
how does that even work?
It's wild. So imagine a future where AI is actually assisting with authenticating restorations
Okay.
by comparing digital records against this massive database of historical data, expert knowledge.
So it's like AI is verifying whether the restoration is actually correct.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can imagine for collectors, for people in the market, that adds this whole other layer of trust and transparency.
That's incredible. It's huge. It's like it takes some of the guesswork out of it.
Totally. But what I find even more fascinating is the kind of almost philosophical debate that this sparks.
Okay, tell me more. I'm all ears. It really is. Like, AI could tell me if someone's trying to pull a fast one.
Exactly. No more shady deals. Everything's out in the open.
But you were saying this sparks a philosophical debate.
It does, because if AI can help authenticate restorations, by comparing them to all this data,
Right.
it makes you wonder, what happens when AI can actually do the restoring itself?
Whoa.
Like, imagine robots working alongside those craftspeople, each bringing their own unique strengths to the table.
Oh, wow. That's a trip.
It really is.
So, I mean, it makes you question, like, what even is restoration at that point?
It's a huge question.
Is it about, like, replicating the original process exactly?
Right.
Or is it about achieving a result that's so precise it almost surpasses the original?
Exactly.
Wow.
It's a question that, people are going to be debating for years to come.
Yeah.
And as this technology gets more and more advanced,
Right.
it's not just about restoring these physical cars.
Yeah.
It's about restoring our faith in them, in their authenticity.
Wow. That's a really good point.
Because you have to be able to trust what you're looking at.
Right.
Especially with classic cars. There's so much history there.
Right. And money.
Oh, absolutely. These are major investments.
Yeah.
So it's critical.
So, I mean, are there concerns about AI, I don't know, taking things too far in the classic car world?
Yeah. I mean, I think anytime you have a new technology, it's really important to proceed thoughtfully
Of course.
and ethically. The researchers really emphasize that, the importance of transparency, responsible innovation.
Right.
It's not about using these tools to rewrite history
Right.
or to create forgeries that could deceive people.
Right.
It's about using them to enhance and safeguard the legacy of these incredible vehicles.
So it's about striking that balance. I like that.
Exactly.
Embracing these amazing possibilities.
Yeah.
But also making sure that we're not losing sight of what makes these cars special to begin with.
Exactly. And I think this research does a great job of kind of highlighting those tensions, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily give us all the answers,
Right.
but it gives us a lot to think about.
Yeah, it makes you think about, what does authenticity actually mean in this, like, new age?
Yeah.
Like, in the age of AI, what does that actually mean?
Yeah. How do we make sure these technologies are used ethically?
Right.
These are big questions.
Yeah, they are big questions.
And I think there are questions that we're going to have to continue to grapple with as all of this progresses.
It's like we're standing at the edge of something totally new. It's exciting and a little scary.
It is. It's a brave new world.
It is. Well, this has been fascinating.
Yeah.
This whole deep dive has been really, really cool. I've learned a lot.
I'm glad to hear it. I think, for listeners who are really passionate about classic cars,
Yeah,
this is an area where things are evolving quickly,
for sure.
and it's really exciting to see where it's all headed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the future holds. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But, thanks to you, I think our listeners can kind of stay ahead of the curve here,
Hopefully.
understanding not just the what of what's happening, but like the why.
The bigger picture.
Yeah, the bigger picture, exactly, and what it all means.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive
It was my pleasure.
into the future of classic car restoration.
It's a fascinating world.
Yeah, it is. All right, until next time,
Until next time.
keep those engines running
Absolutely.
and your minds open
I love it.
to all the possibilities out there.
Couldn't have said it better myself.